I would like to start with a statement. Halacha is not only practical, it's also be'etzem. In other words, it has to do with things are be'etzem.
Reality.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, that's not you mean?
No, I mean what they are in their core. And there's a halacha which I would like to share with you, and I think that it's difficult for people to relate to it. How do we understand the halacha that you're not allowed to learn Torah on Tisha B'Av? So we all know it's a double portion because it says in the pasuk. What? Right. So I'm not saying anything against anybody. So how come there's seating room available? If I was giving out ice cream, would there be more people here? If I was giving out ice cream tomorrow night, there would be less people here, right? So, for most people, the halacha should be suspended.
What are you saying? Because
it doesn't give me some. I mean, I'm just.
Some people.
I'm speaking about the guy in that chair. You know, I'm not speaking about the guys that are here.
But
the guys who are not here, right?
It's all options. If my option is to come to the chair or to be at home and to relax, that's a better option. If my option is to sit on the floor crying or to learn, the learning is a more enjoyable option.
First of all, I question whether that's true. The Panovich hired workers to build for the Panovich Yeshiva. They had to pour cement on some floor, and the morning came. This was not prepared. I'm just telling you just to respond to you. I'm not answering your question, I'm responding to your question. So the workers came, and it was raining. And they waited around an hour or two. And it's clear it was not cleared up, and it's going to be wet, and they're not going to be able to work that day. So, but he paid them for the day. So they came to him at 11 o'clock in the morning and said, "We're not going to get paid. You're not going to be able to be paid. You're not going to be able to work today anyways. But you hired us for the day, so give us some wages." So Panovich said, "That's true. You can't pour your cement. Go into the base manager's today too. You're my workers till the end of the day. So go to the base manager's today too." So the guy says, "We'll just take till we get till now." This is a true story. Can I respond?
That doesn't answer the question.
No, I know. I said first. I was saying this, what you said, that people rather learn than sit and say kinnis. I question whether that's true or not. Some people yes, some people no. And I don't think that's the answer to the question. When you're going to go home, so since I'm not allowed to learn, I'm going to go home and do something I'm going to enjoy more.
Oh.
Right? Is that what you just said?
I didn't say that.
No, that's what comes out of what you said. I'm not even asking a question. Right?
No,
Would a person rather...
They would enjoy it. They enjoy it more than that. The amount of enjoy is more than
more
something
than
else.
that is. They enjoy learning Torah more than what?
More than sitting there and mourning.
It doesn't say that. That's not what it says. It says the reason why you're not allowed to learn is because it's misamech you. And it doesn't say, are you allowed to...
He's saying it's an absolute, not a relative.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. There are other things which you do on Tisha B'Av, which are more misamech. I'm not speaking about you. There are things which people do on Tisha B'Av which they are more excited about doing than learning. Perhaps that way, so we have a korban. Perhaps, but the question is, since we're intellectually honest people, so maybe for Kavod Tisha B'Av we should be allowed to learn. That would be Tisha B'Av. Everybody has to come to the base medrash and learn. Yes, how come you're not saying anything?
The difficult thing, Rav, is on Tisha B'Av.
What?
On Tisha B'Av, the difficult thing is to say you can learn, but you can only learn these particular things. Now, most people want to learn the way their, heart leads them.
Desires.
If you don't want to learn a particular thing, that's the annoying Tisha B'Av. If
Okay.
you want to learn, you've got to learn this thing.
So why don't we just say that I should learn your Masechta, you learn mine? Let's see the halachas in Shulchan Aruch. Okay, after we say the Chamish Yinuim, but also Likro B'Torah, B'Nivim U'Ksuvim, V'Lishnas Mishnah Medrash and Gemara B'Halachas Agadas. Why?
Where are we?
Taf Kuf Nun Dalet Aleph. Why? It's also in Sicha Ritzicha. Rechitza Sicha Nilas Asala Tashma Shamita. Right? These are all things that are also. V'asa Likro B'Torah, Nivim U'Ksuvim, V'Lishnas Mishnah Medrash and Halachas Agadas. If you enjoy them, is that what it says? No, but that's what it should say, right?
Because the pasuk says you should enjoy it.
No,
That's possible you do enjoy it.
that's right.
You
That's,
should know. Yeah, but you do enjoy it. It's a
not
given.
you should.
Yeah, it's a given.
It's not a musa shmuz, right?
It's a given.
It's a given. For real?
Things have changed.
No, I don't think so. The Yitzhar for Bittul Torah has been around for
Right.
right? So that's the first thing, and this you have to understand. This is you have to understand the value of Torah. This is a part of Tisha B'Av. We have to understand the value of Torah. It is be'etzem misameach.
Even though many people don't feel that.
Don't feel that way, and that's I want to make this clear. Unfortunately, I was made aware recently, like 7 or 8 years ago, that there are children that have kshoy limud and they have problems learning Gemara. And for many of them, the way they overcame this issue was with the computer. They put the Gemara on top, and then Rashi, and then Tosfos. And the kids had no problem learning. What happened was, they had some kind of negative experiences in their earlier learning, and when they saw that page, they just had a mental block. And they were able to overcome and circumvent the mental block just by a different design of the page. So, since it's before Tisha, I'd just like to say over what Rabbi Avrohom Baruch said. And we'll go forward from here, but somebody said to him, I don't enjoy learning. So he says, you do. So I said, I don't. And Rabbi Avrohom says, he do. It's a typical Rabbi Avrohom kind of conversation. So Rabbi Avrohom says, if a person, something like this, he said, if a person ate garlic a whole day, then everything will taste like garlic. If you fill your mind full of junk, so then your Torah tastes like junk. Gotta clean your brain from all the other stuff, and then it will come through. My mashal of this is, and this is very important, my mashal, this is my own mashal. There's a thing called classical music. And I said with classical music, everybody smiles. Some people are smiling one way, some are smiling the other way, but everybody smiles when I say classical music. Now, if I would play classical music over here, people will be able to identify it. If I should play jazz, the blues, rock and roll, you'd have less people who would be able to differentiate between them. Maybe we have a cultured audience over here that nobody would be able to differentiate. Anyways, Eichshahu, why is classical music called classic? Because lo mishaneh hamokum v'hazman, people enjoy it. That's what makes it classic. Right? Now, a person who he listens to acid rock all the time, listening to classical music hurts his ears. I'm telling you why. Because he polluted his ears enough that classical music hurts. But isn't classical music good? Of course it is. And the reason why it's hurting is because the perversion of his ears are hurting. But classical music is good. It's not going to change. Torah is Mesameach. It's very important. And the ultimate simchas that there are in the world are only from things that are ruchni. And I think this is from the initial halachas of whatchamacallit. And it bothers me very much. Why is this here? I would put this halacha. I'll tell you all this is. I'm sharing with you my question. I just gave you my answer, and now I'm giving you my question. If I were to write Shulchan Aruch, I would say all about Chamish Inuyim, and then before I speak about Malacha, Davra Ovid, Mutter, because it should be Masiach Tas Mevel, so someplace over there, I would add in this halacha of Bittul Torah, of being Mavat, not Bittul Torah, of
Not being able to learn certain things.
not Isser Limud HaTorah. And the answer is, this is part of the Inuyim. It's right here where it belongs.
Right.
We don't let you be happy. I got a smile on you. On Erev Tisha B'Av. Look at that. See, Torah's Mesameach. Right? So why is it here? Because this is a connection to the Inuyim. This is a fascinating halacha. It is. Tell a 4-year-old taking a shower is tainug. What will he say to you? Right? And you tell a 15-year-old that Limud HaTorah is a tainug. What's he going to tell you? When I'm older. Anyways, okay. Let's continue. All right. But the said those are the Chamish Inuyim that are Aser, Talmud Torah is Aser, and it belongs right there. Now, I would like to share with you something which I saw a chidush this year, and I would like to expound upon this chidush. Rabbi Shulei Diskin, who was, I'm going to use the colloquial expression, a very big machmer, he held possibly that a person who has to eat on Tisha B'Av is not allowed to wash his hands for food. Now this is something which the Poskim find very difficult. This whole, what? He obviously knew that too, right? Why is it? What he said is a bad. It's much simpler than that. When am I not allowed to wash myself?
When it gives you pleasure.
Right. If I'm washing it for a different reason, so it should be mutter. So why should there be any problem? No, I'm washing my hands to eat. So someone says, why am I doing it? So I say, because there's a shulchan aruch to do it. You say, am I getting any pleasure? I say, no, right? I don't know. I don't think anybody over here, it tickles their pleasure buds by washing for bread, right? So why do I need...
So I suggest that shop percent difference.
Okay. I don't know. We're going to answer that question. But the question that you asked, actually, not only is a good question, it's a very bad question. And I'm going to explain to you why. I'll quote to you a Pri Megadim in Hilchos Netilas Yadayim. How do we wash our hands in the morning? Yeah, I'm sorry. On Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur in the morning, how do we wash our hands? Only up to your knuckles. Why?
You don't get pleasure.
What?
You don't get pleasure from your cup yod being wet.
Do you believe what you're saying?
Nothing.
No, we're stuck, right? No, we have a question over here which beckons for an answer, right? That's what I'm pointing out.
You shouldn't wash it all, so you do the minimum that you can to get by.
Why?
I disagree. There should be no reason why it should be usher. The whole point of my question is saying the opposite. It's only rechitza shel tanig, which is aser. If I'm doing it for a different reason, it's mutter. What's the problem?
Could be on Tisha B'Av, you would get Tana, but usually you work on Tisha B'Av, you work. Tisha B'Av, you're different.
Okay,
senses of
I just like to share with you what the Chassidim say that's related to your thought. There are 2 days a year that we only wash our hands till here. Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av. The reason why is because on Yom Kippur we're so holy. If we wash till here, we got rid of all the tumah. We don't have to wash till here. On Tisha B'Av, we're so tamei that we can't do any more than this. It's a fascinating idea, which maybe in one Tisha B'Av speech, if you remind me one year, we'll speak about this concept. Okay, there's only so much you can do with your mitzvahs. You just can't do so much.
How does it fit in with the Kohanim? They wash their hands on Tisha B'Av like they do the rest of the year.
This is correct. This is correct. And the halacha, according to Kemat, all the poskim, is that if you eat bread, you wash your hands fully, because there is no halacha of till here for bread, and you're only washing your hands for bread because it's a mitzvah. As far as I know, at least with a kli, the way we do it, maybe some people before they eat they wash their hands with soap and water, which is fine, hygienic thing, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm going to leave it as a question, but this question revolves around the nakuda that sometimes you have to have a halachic gather to take something away from an isser. In other words, I have to be able to justify it 1,000%, and otherwise there's a default mode. And the default mode is going to be Hana. In other words, I would like to just say something the opposite of what I just said, which is really related. I've unfortunately few times in my life I've been asked the following question, and it pains me that I haven't been asked it. Okay, Rabbi Zachariash, how exact do I have to be when I wash till my knuckles?
How what?
Exact. It's a very good question because it's not easy to wash to your knuckles. So if I'm gonna, Ellie, you like the question?
Do the best you can.
You know what? I'll be friendly with you. It's 9 days, okay? Do the best you can, and we should be heavy on the less than, or has to be heavy on the more than side.
I don't understand the question.
I will explain
Based
to
on
you
everything the
something.
Rav said, it doesn't, even if you do too much, it's not so scary.
I'll explain to you. Technically, we are not in control of the water that falls onto our hands exactly where it should go. That would even be if we had to put it onto a uniform, even surface. Putting the water on your knuckles is a major challenge to get it right. Right?
Yeah.
So, am I supposed to over pour or under pour? I'm asking. No, this is zero lumdis. I'm asking you.
Yeah.
What was we doing?
Was that
Based on
essential?
everything the Rav just-
I believe I don't think the question is that important.
Why not?
Because first of all, I don't understand the reason for why we don't. Because
But forget the reason. What is the
because I know it sounds silly, but it's a Rabbanan, and lots of
It's on Yom Kippur.
Lots of
On Yom Kippur.
Okay, lots of other far more important things that a person should be worried about. Than
Speak about yourself. This is where I'm up to.
I'm saying if it was that essential,
Nothing like.
if it's that essential, then you get a pair of rubber gloves, cut off the fingers, you put it on, and then only wash it where you have to. You measure it exactly to the shear.
I would believe that would be proper if outside the shul they were selling the Yom Kippur glove and Tisha B'Av glove. But since I haven't seen that, so I know that's not the
so
answer.
must not be that important.
to make some money from something.
So why is it not? One second. I just would like to take issue with all the people over here. Maybe we came to the conclusion it must not be so important. You'll have to explain. But my question was, how come nobody asked the question? I have a time on the oil. Right? How come nobody asked this question? All right.
is
But
the
that's not my own-
It's a tzarech mitzvah. So since it's really a tzarech mitzvah, even if you do a little more, it's not a kefarah because tachlis at the end of the day, the netilah is a tzarech mitzvah, and you really could technically do the whole hand. No, you're not to. But
I don't think that that's the answer. And I'll prove to you that that's not the answer. Because we don't sell gloves outside for the people who are cholim that have to eat bread to put wristbands on. They're there, you have to do the whole thing. And there's no heter to do any higher.
But there's also a tzarech mitzvah. So maximum, if you do a little more than the tila itself, even if it goes on your whole body. Let's say I did this washing with tzarech mitzvah, so it went a little more, but it's not a pleasure.
Okay, today you're getting close. So it's nothing to do with whether there's more mitzvah or less mitzvah.
No, that's not what I'm saying. The netilah.
The question is, how exact do you have to be when you're washing your hands on Tisha B'Av? And it seems everybody says you don't have to be so exact.
We're not halachas.
I want to ask you a question.
Like you said, you do the best you can.
I want to
as
ask
a
you a
human
question.
being.
I want to ask you a question. I'm willing to accept that answer. Do you do the best you can?
You don't find even the doctor can
Okay, listen. If I made you all uncomfortable, that's good. That's what 9 days are for. Anyways, the answer to the question is, in my opinion, is a double pashut. That if we're trying to do X and you got X plus, there's no isser because you're not doing it for the tiny. There's absolutely no problem. There's absolutely no problem. It's not because we're not up to there. It doesn't make a difference.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand the reason in the first place because
No.
it doesn't give me time to wash my hands.
That's the thing. It doesn't make a difference because I will not say what I'm trying. I'm going to borrow a different subject. I went to your house. You're a very nice man. Your wife's a very nice lady. She answered the door, and I said, "Can I borrow 2 potatoes?" She gave me 2 potatoes, and I come back, and I say, "I don't really remember were those potatoes average size, big ones, little ones."
In my house also my wife don't blend, just give.
What?
I also don't blend, just give.
Okay. So 1 second. Not your wife, okay? Okay.
Exactly for that reason.
1 second. So I'm going to tell you something a chiddush right now. If I come back and I say I don't recall if these were the bigger or smaller, if they're bigger than the ones that I gave you, I'll just give it to you. That's what say the Gemara. The halachas that's mutter. You know why? Why am I giving you more? To cover myself.
Yeah, you don't, just in case. Don't give less.
I'm not giving you more as
Presents.
because you lent me.
Right.
It's not because of ribbis. There's absolutely no problem.
You don't want to give less.
I don't want to give less. I'm protecting myself, so I'm giving you more. But I'm not. It's not called ribbis. Even though you're getting back more, but I'm not giving it to you under the umbrella of giving you more than I took. If I can know exactly, I'll give you exactly. I can't know exactly, so I'll give you more because that's not worth the trip to get back to this world for a lousy potato, piece of potato, right? So mamela, it's mutter. So if I'm trying to wash a tzarech mitzvah, and it went out of the threshold, you're going to call that tainuk? No, it's called a mistake. And being that there's no tainuk, I didn't do it for tainuk, it's 100% permissible. Not because it's mutter.
So the one who says you shouldn't wash all that way, I presume he holds on Tisha B'Av, it would be a time.
Oh, so that's what you have to. You have to have an urgency that forces the issue. And even if you're doing it for halachic reason, according to some, they say the pshat in the Maril Diskin is he was choishish for the Shitas Haraiva that says the chatchila you could wrap your hands in a tissue and eat. So, because you decided to wash your hands instead, that's called rishus.
That's not only Tisha B'Av. Usually not.
No, we don't paskin like the rival.
Right.
But because of the chomer of Tisha B'Av, not in Yom Kippur, he was machmer for the shita.
Right.
That's called the
Only
machmer.
on Tisha B'Av, right.
Yom Kippur also. Let's say, but
Right, not a regular.
no. But and that's enough to call it not letzarech mitzvah, and therefore it goes back to the default of time. So I would like to just touch on a subject which is, to me, problematic. So I'm going to vent a little bit to you, but it's a fascinating
I
subject.
have a further question on that. Let's say that I really I missed the mark, but I was way short. I got up to here. Is that mutter to daven like that? Does that take the tumah off?
No,
I'm understanding that it has to be
No.
easier to take off the tumah.
right.
So
So
it's better to over.
you're forced to overdo it, but it's not. You're not. That's not called. You're not doing it part for tainug and part for this. You're doing it all for the chiyuv halacha, and whatever more. Don't cry over spilled milk. That's all. That's the concept. Okay. That's now. There's a subject of, and this is again halachas Yom Kippur. Usually Yom Kippur we're not learning so much about halachas Yom Kippur. There's a great debate among the modern poskim about putting on deodorant on Yom Kippur. And there are many who say that deodorant is called sicha, and it's not, the need for deodorant is not a strong enough need to allow it to be put on Yom Kippur.
That's the guy standing next to you.
No, it depends. You mean deodorant or
One second.
antiperspirant? They're two
One
different
second,
things.
one second. What should I ask the guy next to you?
If it's
Well,
See,
what,
that's
I don't
It's a
know.
need.
What? One second. I
Or
have
if it's,
no problem.
or if it's ben al chavero.
But what is Ben Chaver help for the rices over here? I asked you a question. Is it called sicha or
No,
not?
what it means is if
Where
you-
does Ben
if you
Chaver go?
smell-
Stay home
If you smell, then your name
before you anoint yourself on Yom Kippur or Tisha B'Av. No, I don't need you in shul. Stay home and be shemer Torah mitzvahs. I asked you, is it mutter or aser? Ben Chaver is not matter isura. At least not isurim deraisa. Okay, and it's isur deraisa, according to many. Now, I have issue with the subject because I think that's a misunderstanding of what deodorant is. In other words, this I'll just introduce you. This is a fascinating nekuda. In halacha, there are many poskim of Shitas Agron. The Mishnah Berurah seems to be makbid on this, that we say sicha kishtia, and therefore your soap should be kosher. This, in my opinion, is a historical mistake. A historical mistake, not a halach mistake. The soap that we use today is the worst thing in the world for you. It's not good, it's unhealthy. It dries your skin out. And that because of that, they have soaps that have moisturizers. No, soap is no good. Using soap is just like taking detergent and putting it on your skin. That's what our soap is. The soap of Chazal was made out of fat. That is something, right? So soap is also because of sicha kishtia. So the mela we don't use soap because I think there's a push a gap. No, there's nothing wrong with what the halacha said because they're referring to a different soap. Okay, but I'm not right now getting involved in that halacha presently. And similarly, I believe to a certain extent that there are poskim who assume that the deodorant that you put on is some kind of nourishment or betterment to the skin. I don't necessarily whether it is or it isn't. No, it's the subject of sicha. To me, it's I don't get it. I don't get it because it's not doing that. It doesn't do that at all. What?
It's the opposite of what you used to do.
Right. Not only that, we know that people who use deodorant, it really could cause skin irritation. It's not good for you, let alone if you use antiperspirant. That's PS, not good for you. But echshu, I'm not right now discussing the halacha l'maisa. There are many places that are machmer on this. On Tisha B'Av, could possibly be that there's more reason to be meko, but there is a great debate on the subject altogether. Just mentioning here.
So that's the deodorant as opposed to antiperspirant.
I said no, not as opposed to. I said kol shekain antiperspirant. I didn't say as opposed to.
No, I'm saying there's poskim who say antiperspirant is also usher.
Then I don't think that any poskim who are no, I don't know if they, I don't know. You have to get like an American posik to be aware. No, this is a very. I don't think you get over the,
The pamphlets that I saw on it all say to use antiperspirant, not deodorant.
Okay, so you must be reading American literature. I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. But I don't think that Rabbi Yashiv would know the difference between antiperspirant and deodorant. You have to be fed information, right? I don't know. I'm interested to see who says that.
Spray deodorants have the same issue, or it's
Same thing. Same thing.
like washing yourself?
The spray. The people. Okay, so I'm not going to. Maybe we'll get involved a little bit more. I just wanted to touch on that nakuda. All right. Now. There was something I want. What?
But could a person spray their clothes if they feel like they're super smelly and need?
I think so. I think so. I like to learn halacha chaf because this is a halacha which is not so well known, and I would like to preface it with the following story. I will not say where this was, but there's a fellow whose name was Rav Brevda. I don't know if you know who that was, and an Englishman, right? So you know who he was. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So he was like a sweetie pie kind of a guy, if you knew him personally. And he spoke in a very yeshivish shul, which will be unnamed presently, on Leil Tisha B'Av. And he said, I came here to speak Leil Tisha B'Av, and Myra was very inspiring, and you missed the point of Tisha B'Av. This is how he prefaced his words. That Amein Yeha Shema Raba before Shemona Esrei, the Baruch Hashem Mavoyah before Shemona Esrei, was out of sync with the day. This is a day that you are no zuf from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Amein Yeha Shema Raba. That's not how you're supposed to be doing it on Tisha B'Av. You are no zuf. You are. What's the word? Rejected.
Castigated.
What?
Scorned.
Scorned. Yeah. Okay. You're not in God's good graces. Let's just put it that way, as a nice. So you don't. This is not the time to be like that. You're supposed to answer b'safa rafa. And if you're davening, like today is your closest day with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, you missed the point of the day. That was before his speech. He made this macho, which is a fascinating macho, and it's important. You have to live the day. You have to live the day, and your relationship with Kadosh Baruch Hu is supposed to reflect what you're supposed to be feeling.
I often wondered then why we sing what I think, for me, is one of the most beautiful of all our nigunim, the late on. I really like that niggun. I was thinking on Tisha. It kind of bothers me. I enjoy it.
Okay, first I'll insult you, then I'll answer you. Okay? We'll go in order. We have to discuss your taste. Okay. Now, I would like to explain to you why you enjoy it. Then I'll explain to you why you don't really enjoy it. You enjoy it because the melody of it pierces one's soul. It's not that you enjoy, it makes you connect. It's the effect that it has on you.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Exactly.
No, and that effect that it has on you is congruous to the day. Okay? So, but the first I just have to, excuse me. But the nakuda is that you could do if that's what gets you to be, and there's a Rosh Hashanah niggin, and there's a Yom Kippur niggin, and there's a niggin which gets you to feel the loss. to mourn. It's a mournful chant. So it's beautiful, but would you like that going down to your chuppah? It's nice for where it's supposed to be. It's appropriate.
There's people who do Tisha B'Av Night Kumzitz.
Tush.
Tisha B'Av Night Kumzitz. That goes there and sing also similar kind of songs. That's supposed to be more
Would you like me to respond?
I would like it.
I was at the same kind of thing.
What about if I gave you a penny to answer that question? There's absolutely no connection. Those people, are looking for a kosher entertainment. And possibly they found one.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Listen.
I'm sure it's partially. There's part of the people that do
That's who it is. So it could be outreach as well.
What's outreach? What's it kashur? We're talking about, is this what Hashem wants from us? Gimmicks to get people to be from is what we're talking about in this year? What's it kashur? Outreach. We're speaking about authentic Judaism right now, not gimmicks.
But I think it's the similar thing that people have such a hard time getting their emotions interact, and this is something that can do it.
1 second. So you want to know, and let's tell you, let's get this straight. If I was the Rav of the hospital, and I was in charge of the oncology ward, I would say it's a mitzvah for everybody to eat on Yom Kippur. And then my kid would call me up and say, Abba, ma kara lacha? I said, Shum davar. He says, אתה אומר שיש מצווה לאכול ביום כיפור? הם חולים! הם חולים! Now for a chayla it's a wonderful thing. הם חולים. And Vada, if it works for a chayla, that's fine. But is that where we're supposed to be? Is that what we're trying to do? Think about it. That's a watered down b'diavad. Someone asked me today, am I allowed to make tzitzis on Tisha B'Av? So I said, I'm going to answer you, and then I'm going to give it to you over the head. If you think that I'm not nice here, okay, in Yerushalayim it's much worse. So I said, of course it's mutter. You're not sewing, it's not Shesiv Erev. I went through all the problems that it is 100% mutter. So I said, but your problem is, why waste your time doing nothing? That's exactly what you're supposed to do. That's why the first words of Kinnah is Shavas. Do nothing, stop and contemplate. But you don't want to do nothing. You want a distraction from what you're supposed to be doing. You missed the point of the day. No, Avada, I'll ask you a question. A person who's a proficient reader, I only realized this recently. A person who reads Hebrew well, is it distracting or helpful to have nakudas? Distracting.
Slows you down.
But why? Isn't it better?
It's a crutch of learning.
So if these people need nakudas, miskinim. Maybe they can make through the day that way. I'm not, but it's not going to make that the right way is with nakudas. That's the wrong way. That's for people who are bepigu. I mean, obviously, when you're learning the first time, I'm not. Okay.